means that you all are seriously interested about the voice. So I want to know how many of you are professional voice users? Professional voice users. What do you do? Okay. Okay. And what about you? And you? You are into marketing. Okay. And what about you? Or you were just as a part of your work? Okay. So, as an answer to that question, now all of you must be aware that this is a category of people who fall into professional voice users. So we know that Shah Rukh Khan is a professional voice user, Lata Mangeshkar is a professional voice user, Barkha Dutt is a professional voice user. But today there are a lot of people who fall into different categories where they are dependent on their voice to make a living. Not only that, communication skills is become a very, very important part of practically every profession. I don't think there is any profession which does not require good communication skills. And the voice is a very fundamental tool of communication. So whenever we speak, only 7% of what we say is actually communicated through the words that we use. A lot of you must be aware of this. The remaining 93% is through the voice, which means the tone of your voice, the modulation of your voice, the quality of your voice, the power and the projection of your voice. So the different aspects, the energy of your voice, all these things will convey a lot about what you are saying. And of course the body language. So your body language and voice always go hand in hand. It's not possible that you have a very unenergetic body, bad body language, dull body language, and then you have a very great and energetic voice. That's not possible. So both of them go hand in hand, and in fact whenever we do voice training, we train both. Okay, not just the voice but the voice and the body. And as I go on, you will understand what I'm saying. The voice is also a very, very important part of your personality. It says a lot about who you are. In fact, whenever we speak, based on the way we are using our voice, the modulation, the energy, the quality, the listener will, at a very unconscious level, pick up signals from your voice, and he'll make his own deductions about who you are, what kind of a person you are, what your character is. And a lot of times this might not be correct, because you might be habitually using your voice in a particular way because you come from a family where everybody spoke in a particular way. So you've just developed certain patterns without even being aware of it. So you might end up giving a wrong impression about who you are just because you're using your voice in a particular way. For example, if you speak with a very shrill and a high-pitched voice, automatically what is the impression you're giving? That you're a very tense and a very anxious personality. Okay? Or you might have seen people who have a very nasal voice. They speak through their noses. It can be a very irritating kind of voice if you listen to it for a long period of time. Such people are believed to be people who complain a lot, who whine a lot. Or if you have a soft, inaudible voice, barely audible, you're sending a message that I have nothing important to say, so I don't want you to listen to me. So if somebody with this kind of a voice goes for an interview, you can imagine somebody else who has the same knowledge or maybe a little less knowledge, but a better communication skill might just get the job. Okay? A very loud and a hard-hitting voice, something which hits your ears, can give the impression of being a very, very aggressive personality. And monotone. All of you must have heard enough monotonous voices in college and in school. Okay, so it's obviously a dull and a boring personality. And a very curt, harsh, staccato style of speaking could mean a very unpleasant and a rude personality. And the same thing can be used in the field of performance, dubbing, voiceover. So you can use these voices to convey a particular kind of personality. So as I mentioned, the voice is a very, very important aspect of your personality, your personal image, your professional image, and it is also a very vital aspect of your communication. But one very important thing is that the voice is an indicator of your vocal health, your physical health, and your mental and your emotional health. So if you're speaking with a particular kind of a voice, it would mean that you could be having a problem with your vocal folds, with the way you're using your vocal system. You could be having physical problems, like just now we were discussing about thyroid problems. So you could be having thyroid problems, which are treatable, of course. And you could be having neurological problems. Or if you're speaking with a very dull, now people who are depressed will speak with a very dull, monotonous voice with no energy. Or people who are anxious, like I already said, will always speak at a very fast pace, shrill, high-pitched. So a bad voice is not only about your personality and your communication, but it is also about your health. Okay, now whether you want to have a great voice for communication or for your profession or for whatever reasons, the fundamental thing is that a good voice has to be a healthy voice, a fit voice, a well-maintained voice. Now, before I proceed any further, I'll just give you a very broad idea of how the voice functions. So you will know if this is right functioning, then what is incorrect or improper functioning of the voice. Now, for the production of the voice, does anybody have any idea, even a very rough idea as to how the voice is produced? Pardon me? Yeah, you're absolutely right. It's a part of the production of the voice. So for the production of the voice, we use virtually the whole body. Okay? Now there are 5 stages which occur simultaneously when we decide to speak. The first part is the respiration or the breathing. The second part is the phonation or the vibration. Now most people feel that the voice comes from the voice box, but that is just one part of it. Okay? The third part is the resonance or the amplification of those vibrations. The fourth part is, this first 3 parts is what gives you the voice. The last part is what gives you the speech. Okay, formation of words, and that is the speech part of it. And of course, like all functions in the body, all these things are coordinated by the brain. Now, breathing is the key to the voice. It is the foundation of a good voice. If your breathing is right, 90% of your voice problems can be managed. But if the breathing is wrong, nothing is going to help you. So this is the most important part of the vocal system. Now if you watch, how many of you have seen a newborn baby or an infant breathe? Yes? They will always use their abdomen. Okay? They never use their chest, and they can cry for hours at a time. They can scream, screech, howl, but they don't get a voice problem because they're using abdominal breathing and they're using their whole body to produce the voice. But unfortunately, because of whatever our social conditioning, a lot of factors, nowadays I get a lot of actors, models as part of my clientele, and they have this tendency to build up a lot of muscles in the chest, and they keep their abdomen so tight that they can barely breathe. Okay? Our PT teachers, if you realize in school, they always tell you deep breath means you have to puff up your entire chest and breathe. Now that is the wrongest way you can breathe. Correct breathing is abdominal and diaphragmatic. So if your abdomen is relaxed, you get enough space to move your diaphragm down, and therefore you get sufficient amount of air to produce the voice. The more you breathe from your clavicles, the upper part, okay, shoulder clavicular breathing. So you're using your shoulders. A lot of people, when they come to my clinic, the moment I start the assessment, I take them through an entire process assessment. The moment I say, give me a deep breath. This is a deep breath. So what happens? The nasal muscles are squeezed. The chest is all up, so the breath is very shallow. And all these muscles are used to automatically affects your neck and your voice box area and creates a lot of tension there. Okay? So that is the most shallow kind of breath that you can produce. Now when you breathe from the abdomen, the abdominal muscles are very, very powerful. Okay? And they are far away from the voice box. So that is the best way to breathe, not only for the voice, but otherwise also in life. Remember that abdominal breathing is the right kind of breathing. It helps you to take in a large amount of air effortlessly. No efforts. As long as you keep your abdomen relaxed, your diaphragm has more